Hello everyone, welcome back to another tips and tricks on Unturned video. Now for those of you who have been sticking around waiting for another Unturned video, I decided to do a tips and tricks just to kind of give you guys something to watch. I know it's been a while since I've done a video on Unturned, but that's just because it's kind of difficult right now. Most of you already know that, so we're not going to talk about that. Today we're just going to talk about tips and tricks. And the thing is about these tips and tricks that a lot of them are kind of console based because the console version and the PC version are slightly different, to say the least. Like, console can't have mods, but console also has a bunch of glitches right now, like you can go under the map, and all that, so we're not going to be focusing on that, though. We're just going to be talking about some console-specific things, and a bunch of these tips will go over to PC, but a lot of them are kind of console-based, kind of directed towards newer players, or some just advanced tips that you may not know. And number one is Hoard beacon choosing. Now, if you have never done a Hoard beacon, basically what a Hoard beacon is you place it down in an area that has zombies, and all those zombies will come towards the Hoard beacon or come to you. Basically, if you run out of the area, the Hoard beacon will just kind of explode. If the zombies touch the Hoard beacon, it will explode. And then I think if you die also, it will explode. Basically, if there's no players in that area, the Hoard beacon will explode and you'll lose all your loot. So what you're going to want to do is protect the Hoard beacon and kill all the zombies until the mega spawns, and then once the mega spawns, you need to kill all the zombies in the area plus the mega, and then the Hoard beacon will explode and give you a bunch of loot. Yay! The first tip for this is, by the way, you should leave the mega for last, because for some reason on console, I don't know about PC, there's a chance that if you kill the mega last, it will also drop extra loot. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if that happens on PC, but kill the mega last, but that's not the point of this tip. The point of this tip is how to beat it. Now, there are these towers that you can shoot down from, and you can just place the Hoard beacon in there. The zombies can never get it unless if one spawns up there, which sometimes happens on console, but I've never had it happen while doing a Hoard beacon. And then the mega can throw rocks up there, but I have yet to be hit by one while shooting down on it. So if you use those towers, you can actually just kind of get it for free. Otherwise, find an area that the zombies cannot get to. On Heritage, for example, there is that roof area and also a tower that you can just place the Hoard beacon. Most zombies can't get up there. Sometimes they'll glitch up there. It's just how it is. But zombies can't break it, so you can just freely shoot down. If you're low on ammo, just melee them until the mega spawns. Climb the ladder. Try not to die while doing it. And basically, you can just cheese it. You're out of the range of the zombies. They can't get you. They also, can't really kill you because you're on a roof, unless you are stupid. So yeah, just find a high place, they can't get to it, and that's how you cheese a Hoard beacon. To keep on the trend with killing mega zombies, there are actually multiple ways to kill a mega zombie. So I think in the first tips and tricks, the way we showed was by using a flagpole so the rock can't hit you, and laying down on those little giant sandbags on Scorpion or Olympus, one of those two. Anyways, I'm going to be telling you other ways. So this is on console. For some reason, zombies are really stupid down in Olympus, which, yeah, I know, another Olympus thing. But they'll a lot of time get stuck in the doorway, and if you find this, then you can actually trap a mega zombie in there. There's actually one more that I forgot to write down when I was recording stuff, and that is when you actually go out of the territory, the mega zombie will run back into its area, and you can just kind of shoot from outside of its range, and it can never get to you. Now, the one downside is if you're doing a Hoard beacon, it will cancel the Hoard beacon. But I mean, if you're just trying to kill a mega zombie, you can't get on the high ground, and you can't get it stuck in a doorway, then you can actually just straight up run out of the zone that it can go into, and then just shoot it from afar. This next one, when I was reviewing it, actually got corrupted, so I kind of have to speed run through it. But basically, when you are in a PvP battle, you'll kill people. You know, like you do. And they'll drop their weapons. What you should do is immediately scrap it. The reason you should immediately scrap it is so they cannot respawn and grab their gun again. Now, the upside to this is that when you do scrap it, you'll get scrapped, but also you get the attachments. So if you're running the same weapon as them, you can actually equip their attachments and you get an extra clip of ammo, since when you scrap it, it doesn't destroy the attachments or magazine, it actually puts it in your inventory. And number 4 is actually about turrets. Now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but turrets are a little weird on console. In order to activate a turret, you need to place a generator, activate it with the gasoline, and by the way, I don't know if it's on PC if it's glitched, but on console it is. And then after you start the generator, you then can place the turret and put the gun, do whatever, it's activated. But then you can actually remove the generator and the turret will never turn off. Or at least I don't think it will. Maybe when the server restarts it might turn it off. But for some reason, if you place the turret, then the generator, then put gasoline in it, at the current moment it doesn't work. It just kind of doesn't turn on. So you have to place the turret after you put the generator down, and that's how you can activate it. Now, it wouldn't be much of a tips or tricks if I didn't tell you a tip with it. So what you can do is put the turret next to a window, and then when somebody comes by, maybe you can use one-way glass to see them, you can open the window, and they'll just fire upon whoever's coming towards you. And number 5 is just how to defend your base, kind of easier. So when you're online, you probably will be attacked at some point, and so how do you make that easier? Well, what you can do is you can have a sniper tower. Now, when you have a sniper tower, from up there you can shoot down on people. To force people to be in your sight lines at all time, you can then put spikes behind the trees facing your base. So when they try and prone behind a tree, there will be spikes in the way, so they have to prone either really far away or they can't prone there at all because they will be shot by you. And so combined with the turrets and with open windows and turrets just around the place, you have a really defended base. We tried to raid one, it didn't work. They were on all the time, and they would just shoot down on you. Their turrets wouldn't shoot them, so they could just walk in front of their turrets and shoot us whenever there was a weak point. And it was just terrible. It was hard to raid. We actually didn't end up raiding it because we didn't want to spend all the supplies. So there you go. Defend your base by having hidden turrets and putting spikes behind places that could be caused as weaknesses. If someone tries to destroy those spikes, well, it's not very tactically advantageous because then you'll know they're coming. So put spikes behind trees, put spikes everywhere, put turrets everywhere. There you go. And number 6 is something actually really simple that I've said on streams maybe a million times, but I don't think I've ever said it in the tips and tricks before. When you are first starting out, you may realize, hey, you're bleeding. Oh no, you're bleeding. Well, what you can do is something very simple. Take off your helmet or just scrap some clothing and make a rag. It doesn't matter if it's a rag, dressing, or whatever. It can heal the bleeding just by simply healing it. Now there are some things like the blood bag and the vaccine that heal you, but they don't stop your bleeding. So just remember, use a dressing, use a med kit, use a rag, always have at least one of those on you when playing PvP. So if you do get shot, you can stop the bleeding and have an advantage over the other person, because if they are bleeding, you're not, hey, you're probably going to win. You can stall them out. And number 7 is something I actually do a ton of. This is using zombies to raid people's bases. If somebody builds a base in an area where zombies spawn, all you have to do is corral them together and get them to just munch on a base. I have had multiple raids where literally I just go on top of the base, get some zombies' attention, and then they start tearing into the base. It's actually one of the funniest things ever. And the only way to counter it is by safe zone radiating the whole entire place, which not many people do because that's kind of hard. Most places are really big. I've only seen it happen once, and that is on Scorpion. And that base was insane. They were online all the time. So if you're going to build a base in an area where zombies spawn, it's better be really hidden, out of where zombies can get to, or you better be online 24/7. And number 8, it's just learn the zombies' movements. So this one's coming right after the me saying, hey, you should use zombies to raid people's bases. How do you do that? Well, here are the basic zombie movements. You get their attention. They follow you. No matter what you do, they will follow you unless if another player gets closer. They will literally chase you down to the end of the earth until they physically can't get to you and they figured that out. Or you die, or you kill them, or you get out of the area. That is the only way they will turn around. Now the other weird interactions that they do is if you shoot a gun, they will go to the gunshot location, and if they don't see you, they will just sit there and be like, oh, weird way to go. Maybe if I stare at the spot long enough, he'll come back. But once they get tired of staring there, they'll just turn around and go back to where they were. That's why sometimes you throw a flare and then suddenly the zombie's back and you're like, why did they come back? It's just because they walk back whenever they get bored of standing in the same place for a while. And number 9 is a raiding trick. So when I first started playing Unturned, the only way I knew how to raid was with C4. And don't get me wrong, C4 is actually amazing, but it takes a little bit to get. So what should you use up until then? Well, you should use a Nykarev or Dragon Fang. Dragon Fangs and Nikarevs both have a large, like, ammo capacity, and they're raiding guns. So what you can do is you can break down multiple walls, and not only that, but while you're doing it, you can just mow someone down. They're also good PvP weapons. So the reason you want to use these is because they're really easy to get. You could probably destroy like 3 or 4 things with a single Nikarev / Dragon Fang things. So the reason that I recommend them is because they're really easy to get. You just have to defeat a Hoard beacon or a Mega Zombie, or there are cases where you can actually find them randomly. So when you're raiding, use Dragon Fang, use the Nikarev, call it a Dragon Fang and not a Dragon Box, and you'll be good. And then, number 10. What could be number 10? Don't be toxic. Now, you may say, wait, don't be toxic. What? That's really number 10? So this one is, again, more for the console people. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but sometimes you see the same people on the servers. And sometimes you get into arguments with them. Or you're like, hey buddy, and they're like, hey buddy, and you guys team up again. That's what I mean. You need to make friends, or else people will target you. I know this because people target me. Yeah, that sucks. Oh well. But yeah, be friends with people. Don't be too toxic. People will backstab you, so be careful, of course. But if you are nice to most people and you just kind of have fun, you chill out, you make allies, you will have strong friends who will defend you. And maybe if there's like 2 mega bases, they're friends. They'll help each other out when they get attacked. That is awesome, and that is how you stay on a server for a really long time. So like I said, just make allies. A lot of people don't do this, and they just kind of make enemies everywhere. People will remember your name. People will write it down and tunnel vision you, follow you to every server you go to. And I've had it happen, and I hate it. But don't be toxic. Make friends. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I am planning on doing more Unturned. The reason I haven't done more Unturned tips and tricks is because some of the tips and tricks I do are kind of boring, and I don't want a whole entire tips and tricks of boring tips and tricks. So I try and get the fun tips and tricks, put them in there, put some boring ones in there that are still tips and tricks so you still enjoy them. And that's what I do. So like I said, like and subscribe. I have a Twitch. Go follow that. I haven't been using it often because I haven't gotten my computer. My computer's going to be here soon. That's about it. I rushed to do this. Goodbye.